Because in this stream, I'm gonna go over my like content creation process, how I take a VOD into other content. Stream manager. So when I'm streaming, right? Whenever there's anything interesting that happens on stream, anything that I would like to talk about. Hi Kel, what's good? Welcome. Whenever there's anything I'd like to talk about, right here, add a stream marker. If you don't have this available in your quick actions, if you hit plus, you can find it here and then you can add it. But I click this, and what this does is it marks any section of your stream with whatever message that you put. So we hit OK, right? Now, if we go into content under video producer, we can find our VODs. And if I click highlight, we can go to the highlighter section. Any part with this uptick triangle right here is a stream marker that I put. Only the streamer can see these. So if I hover over it, I can now see the description I put on this. To you guys, you'll be like, what is this? But to me, I know what this part of my stream was. Logitech Cam Adjustments. In the beginning of my stream, I was talking about things you can do to a Logitech webcam to make it look better. So if you take this orange section, or yellow, I'm trolling, drag it, like I just kind of drag it to roughly guesstimate where this is gonna be, and then hit publish highlights, and then you can capture a highlight section of your VOD. So this way you don't have to download a like 4-hour VOD, you can download like 30 minutes of your 4-hour VOD and save a lot of computer space. So that's how I add my markers while I am live. You need to add them while you're live. It's okay if you can't answer chat for 10 seconds to add a little bit of a marker, because in the long run, this will help you mark important content, and editing you will be so grateful to streaming you for adding these markers. So right here, right? Oh, I'm not streaming. So now I have these two highlights, one from the beginning of my stream and one from the end of my stream. So we're gonna click these 3 dots, and then we're gonna click download, and we're gonna go download both, like all of our highlights. I'm downloading just the 2 because that's all I have. Let me go and show you guys how I edit in Premiere Pro. So this is what my Premiere Pro workstation looks like. But if you don't have one, I will show you guys how to set one up. So we're gonna go to file, and then we're gonna hit new, and the file, new, and new project. And I'm gonna call this YouTube 2. So we're just gonna blah, blah, whatever, looks good, hit OK. This is how your Premiere Pro normally looks like when you open it up, right? To make things as easy as possible, I like to set up a project that is simply for cranking out as many YouTube videos as possible. So you don't need to make a new project for every single YouTube video. I make all of mine like in the same one. I'm just making a new one to show you guys how to start from scratch, okay? There's gonna be like a lot of components that you need for a YouTube video. So what I mean by this is you're gonna need something like background audio, sound effects, intro and an outro if you do choose to use those. Those are like video elements that you are going to reuse throughout all of your YouTube video. So I like to throw them all in the same project. So I'll go and find all the files that I need. So YouTube intro, YouTube outro. So I'll just chuck those in here. Here's one background music that I just downloaded off the internet. Whoosh sound effects. I'll show you how to find these in a second. On this side here now, I chuck all of my content, like all of my reusable video content that I always repurpose. Popular sound effects, bleep sound effects, whatever. Just look up copyright-free sound effects. Find copyright-free sound effects that YouTubers use, okay? Like this is a great video, okay? You go to the site, we're gonna copy the URL, look up YouTube to MP3 download. Any of these links work. Paste it in there, hit start, and then download the sound effects. But what I also like to look for is copyright-free lo-fi beats. Copyright-free instrumental music. Find these copyright-free instrumental songs, download it. So here I just grabbed the highlight I just downloaded. So what I like to do is I like to organize my project section a little bit. We're gonna make a new bin, and I like to label it by date. So I forgot which, this was like Saturday streams. This is I think the 9th. So I'll name this like April 9th VOD, and then I'll drag the track in there. And then anything else that I download specifically from this VOD, I put it here. So everything is all like segmented into its own folder. I just personally like to keep all the elements I always reuse sitting out there, but that's just me. So now we're gonna go and make our own thing. So we just click this, and then we can drag it onto our timeline. Bam. Now we have a highlighted section of our stream and our timeline. If you want to format this for TikTok down the line, I'll show you in a little bit. I also have a YouTube video coming out on how to format for TikTok, but you just chuck it on the timeline. Okay, so then normally what I do is I will like click this. So the text is in square brackets and the link you want to direct people to. And then I'll kind of like so I kind of just like figure out where I'm talking about the important topic I need to cut for. So this section I'm talking about a bitrate. I like to cut that. If you want to cut using Premiere Pro, you press C or you just click this razor. Okay, then if you click, it will cut your track. If you press V or you click on this pointer, you can then select different sides of the track, and then if you hit delete, you will delete it. Now, it doesn't move over to the end because there's this ghost track here. Click the ghost track and you hit delete, and then boop, it scoots all the way over. Also, if you want to speed up the video in Premiere Pro, you press L. The more times you hit L, like the faster it goes. I'll just kind of like roughly cut it arbitrarily. I won't like do too much to it. And then if I click this track and then I right click where it says label, this is how I can change the color of the track. So I'll just change this to like something arbitrary like blue or whatever. This tells me that this one section is one YouTube video. To make my life easier, I don't watch through the entire VOD. I skip around to see what I'm talking about. Okay, there was nothing at the end of this video. So this highlight only has 2 sections to it. I don't even think I'm gonna use the first one here, but I'll keep it as an example. So then I will go to label and then I will color code this video. So I know this, like the base shade of blue is not stuff that I'm using for YouTube. So normally I will just delete it out. I'll just leave it until I finish editing my videos. Once I color code my track, I will now right click it and click make subsequence, okay? Now it makes like a little subsequence. It's named whatever this really long number is. I'm gonna call this the topic that I'm editing. Trauma dumping, okay? Now I'm gonna go and right click in the project section. New item, we're gonna make a new sequence. I already have a preset made. If you don't have a preset, don't worry. Custom, we're gonna go to settings, okay? We're gonna make a custom one. 30 frames per second, frame size, 1920 horizontal, 1080 vertical, square pixels. Everything else, fine. And sequence name this whatever we want. We're gonna name this trauma dumping. If you hit save preset, you can save it as a preset, and then you can just use the preset every next time that you're making it instead of like constantly changing it. Now we're gonna hit okay. Whoa, there's nothing here. Don't worry, we're gonna grab our subsequence and then we're gonna chuck it on here, keep existing settings. Okay, so right here is where I'm gonna cut it for the intro. And I cut out every segment that I'm talking to chat so that it's more cohesive for the viewer. Again, I press L to speed up the video. And then I have to sit and listen to me talk to chat. Okay, so here's a good spot to cut at. I'll normally see now. This is what we do when we throw all of our other content here, right? I have my intro already pre-made. Bam, I'll just drag it here. Delete. Now I have my video and then I have the intro. What I like to do to make it look a little bit smoother, if I go under effects and then we're gonna look up cross dissolve, sorry, it's under dissolve. I just chuck it at the end of the video. And then if you click it, you can adjust the time. So I like to make it only like 10 or like 0.1 second. So it looks like this now. So it fades into the video. I just think it looks smoother. This is again just my style of editing personally. If you are doing gaming videos, it would be edited a little differently. So I'm gonna zoom in for when I'm talking about trauma dumping. So I'm gonna use C to cut and then V to click and then let's go like this. Cheers. And man, that one's a hefty one. So I'm gonna cut out any dead space. So the and. It's mainly because like I'm talking about this when I'm streaming. So there's a lot of like ums and stuff because I'm live with no script.
2 hours later.
All right, but now I am done with my editing. This is as much as I do in editing. That's it. I could not be bothered to do any more. So we're done. Now I need to add some background music. So I'm gonna go back to my project. I'll find music that is long enough to fit this. So the audio track that I commissioned my friend to make me, I'm just gonna toss this in here. What I do is if the audio is too long, I just cut it and then I toss on. Under audio transition, crossfade, exponential fade, I throw it on the end of the audio. And I know this audio track is loud relative to me. So I put it at -35, and that's what I found was good for this specific track for me. I feel comfortable with you talking about this. So you can barely hear it, but that's what I want. All right, now that I'm done with this, I just hit Control M, and then I cue it. I want to make sure my title is like related to the video. Click this. We're gonna play the media encoder so this can download. Now, in the meantime, I'm gonna go under my Notion board. So under my working on thumbnail now, I'm gonna put the trauma dumping. I export it as MP4, which is this H.264 formats. And then now we need to go make a thumbnail. I already have a Photoshop thing set up to make the thumbnail for my YouTube videos. Now, if you don't have one, it's fine. We can go make one. File, and then we're gonna click new. And then we're gonna make it 1280 by 720. And then resolution 72. I just out of habit make it 300. Hit create. Okay, now we have our artboard. So in order to make your thumbnail, what makes a good thumbnail? You want something that's visually appealing, that's eye-catching. I like putting words, clickbait words on my thumbnail sometimes, but I don't do it that many times or that frequently. Okay, so step one, I think I have like visually an idea of how I want this to look like. So I like to use photos of myself in my thumbnails. I normally just take selfies and then I will grab the selfie. And you want expressive poses in your thumbnail. So I have this one from a previous YouTube video where it looks like I make like a crying face. I want to see if I have another one because I actually already used that today. Maybe I use this one. Or actually, you know what? I don't think I've used this one yet. Here. I used this one for another video. But here, I'll just use this one instead. So when you upload a photo, there'll be this like little piece of paper image next to it. That means the layer is locked or like not rasterized. So I want to rasterize it so I can edit. And then over here on the left-hand side, I use the polygon select tool and I'll just cut myself out. There's also the magic wand tool as an option, but I find that for me, the magic wand tool really struggles to cut me out. It always clips things in the background as well, and I think it's just because my hair is like 2 colors. So if the background is very light, the light part of my hair doesn't get cut. But then if my hair, if the background's dark, the darker part of my hair doesn't get cut out. So I just use the polygon tool and just arbitrarily select my body out because again, I do use my face in my thumbnails. If you don't use your face, you can just skip this portion. Just hit delete, bam. Now there's an arbitrary thing of me. I want to kind of make myself a little bit bigger. Maybe for now. And then for the background, trauma dumping, I want to do like dark vibes, something spooky dark to match like the vibe of trauma dumping, which is like kind of like a dark topic. So let me go on my best friend Google. Let me look up like gaming setup. I just like using gaming setups. Let's use tools, usage rights, Creative Commons license. Let's see. Okay, we have some like gaming setups here under the Creative Commons license. Save image, chuck it on here. Hold shift to then so that you don't distort the image while you're like adding it. And then I want to drag it behind myself. So now it kind of looks like this, okay? But it's okay. We'll make this more interesting. So then we're going to go to layer and then layer style. Oh, not layer style, sorry. New adjustment layer. And then first I want to add a hue and saturation. So I'm going to desaturate it. So we're going to make it like more grayish. And then I'm going to make it darker. Let's give me some like darker spooky vibes where we can still see like there's like something going on in the background. There's a little bit more texture, but you can't really tell. And then one thing that I think is really cool, I personally like this, is if there's text around the person. So I want to see if I can kind of structure that a little bit here. So I want to use impact. It's a very bold, it's a very tall font. Oh, shiz. Make it like size 40. Does this fit? I think this will look really good. I just need to distort the text a little bit. So we're gonna right click and then I'm gonna rasterize this layer so I can edit. And then if you hit Control T on the keyboard, you can adjust the size a little bit. So, okay, nice. So I wanna put myself like centered of the text, even if I'm not like completely centered. So for the layer below, under the settings, I'm gonna go to, what does it say? Screen. I'm gonna go to screen. So I'm gonna make this a screen layer. And then the layer on top, I'm gonna make this an overlay layer. And then what I'm gonna do is under filter, blur, I'm gonna add a Gaussian blur on top of this. Or like, I'm gonna Gaussian blur the overlay. Or like, yeah. Okay, and then lower the opacity a little bit. If I lower the opacity of like the screen layer, it gets this, oh, that's too much. It gets this like very nice kind of like translucent effect going on. So I would just play around with the transparency a little bit. But then the one last thing too is like I kind of melt into the background a little bit here because I am wearing black and so is the background. We made it super dark. So what I'm gonna do is, you see my layer here, I'm gonna hit layer, new adjustment layer, brightness, contrast. And then I'm going to up the brightness and the contrast of myself so that I stand out more. Or like of this entire background in general, but I'm gonna go and right click this and then create a clipping mask. So I only clip it onto myself so that nothing else like has the text effect going on. And then I'm gonna click the layer that has me. I'm gonna use the magic wand tool. And then I'm gonna select not on myself, any dead space around me. Click, you see how it outlines me right here? Select inverse, and then I'm gonna go and use the paint bucket tool. And then where I am, I'm gonna make a new layer below it. New layer, and then I'm gonna grab like as dark as I can go. We're gonna paint bucket fill this. Filter, blur, and then we're gonna Gaussian blur. And then I'm gonna go and under where it says normal, I'm gonna make this a multiply layer. So I add kind of like a drop shadow behind me, if we will. Now, when I wanna upload on YouTube, I just click create, upload video. We're gonna find our video, upload thumbnail. And then here is the thumbnail that we made. So, the title, clickbait. Okay, I think trauma dumping in streams and how to handle it. I want to put the clickbaity banger words first and then like the extra filler shit at the end, which is why I'm phrasing it this way rather than how to handle trauma dumping, which puts trauma dumping at the end of the sentence. So trauma dumping in streams and how to handle it. And then the caption, something like, yeah, I can't think of anything else right now. In my Notion board, I have one pin with all of my copy and paste. So I already have a copy and paste with all of my socials and stuff like that in tabs. So I literally wrong one. I literally copy it, paste it into my caption, and then playlists. So I don't even know what playlists will go under. Maybe improving your streams. No, it's not made for kids. Age restrictions, show more. And then the tags, they're basically useless, but I just add them anyway. So I have another like copy and paste tag section that I paste in here. Gaming, monetization, we are trying to monetize the videos. Add abbreviated profanity, video elements, import an end screen from video, hit save, checks visibility. Then I schedule my content. So I already have videos scheduled up to the 25th, I believe. So this one will be going up on the 27th. And then I always post at like around noon. And then we hit schedule. All right, now if we look under my content, you can see all the videos that I have scheduled, and they're scheduled up to the 25th. So this one's gonna go up on the 27th. And yeah, then we can chill on YouTube. Now, how do I take this VOD and also edit it down to TikTok content? So I would literally take this this section in Premiere Pro that I was editing the YouTube vid in, right? So here I was talking about why I think trauma dumping is rude. So I'm just gonna go and highlight the sections that I'm talking about it, hit Control C, and then under a project section, right? And in any dead space, right click it, and then click new item, and then we're gonna make a new sequence. This is if we're trying to make a TikTok. I have a TikTok preset. If you don't have one, we can make one. In settings, editing mode, custom. Time base. For some fucking reason, I have no idea why, my phone cannot open 30 frames per second and only opens 24. So I'm gonna make mine 23.967 or 976, but up to you, right? Then 1080 by 1920. Square pixels, everything else is the same. Again, if you want to save this preset, we can hit save preset. It'll save in Premiere Pro every single time. You can use the same one. So sequence name, trauma dumping, and then Control V. Ta-da! It has all my edits, everything already in here. So now I'm just gonna cut it up for TikTok. So TikTok, you gotta clickbait people in the first 3 seconds. I realize I need context in my video, so I'm gonna find a section where I'm talking about trauma dumping. So I'm gonna copy this too, and I think I'm just gonna chuck this into my trauma dumping TikTok video. Nice suit, cat. Stealing content from yourself. Trauma dumping, man. Also, when you're editing for TikToks, you want it to be fast. So here where I say and, I'm gonna get rid of that. You want it to be fast, that's too slow. Alrighty, but once I get my clip set for TikTok, we have these ugly black bars on the top and the bottom. You know what I do to fix that? I copy everything. We hit Control C. All right, we Control V, paste this. I right click this, and then we click nest. Doesn't matter the name. What this does, it is like groups everything together. Now I take this, I double click it. Click the bottom, and then we drag to make it bigger. Now, I need to throw an effect on here, so I'm gonna search for Gaussian blur, and I'm gonna take my Gaussian blur, throw it on top of this. I like to make it 70. I don't know why, I just like it. So now I take these other clips here, I highlight them, I move them up to the top like this. I don't know why it's like being weird. Oh, and then with the nested sequence here, we right click it, unlink, delete the audio track because I don't want it, and then we put it down under. And then now we get this nice blur. I am pretty sure there's a better way to do this. I hate editing, so I have no idea. Pog! Alright guys, the very last thing we're gonna do is auto caption. I already have a YouTube video talking about this, so it will be chucked up on screen for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube. But for those of you guys who are not, for those of us who are here, I'll go over this really quickly. I'm not gonna explain it because I already have a video. But Premiere Pro can auto caption if you have one of the new ones of Premiere Pro. So we're just gonna transcribe sequence. You pick the audio track you want to transcribe, or mix if you want to transcribe all of them if you have multiple. What's your last message, huh? But for real, don't stay in bad, uncomfy situations or things that don't benefit you for the sake of other feelings. Oh, don't worry. I'm a people pleaser, but yeah, I've come to realize that I need to not be a people pleaser. I feel like it's like a 50-50. I have like an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. I'm like really fucking selfish sometimes, but then also I'm a people pleaser, so that doesn't work out very well. But I try my best to like get a mix of both, you know. Everyone should be selfish. Oh yeah, L speeds up your video. So if I were watching this, if I press, oh wait, if I go under editing here. If I press L, trauma dumping. This is L once. It plays the video. L twice, L 3 times, 4 times. You can't even hear it anymore. L speeds up the video. Where did my transcription go? Ah, there it is. Create captions. Okay, so I do single lines, minimum duration, 0.2, maximum length. We're gonna do like, I'll do like 12, so it's slower. Create captions and wait for it to create. What does it say? Llama dumping. No one's dumping llamas. What is this? Premiere Pro, you're trolling me here. Double click it. We're gonna change the settings. We can make presets. So I'm just gonna quickly do my preset here. Manually adding it in. Llama stroke of 15, and then this one is like 150-ish. Oh, that looks kind of off. Put it on screen here, and then maybe I make it 115. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna do 110. And then track style, create style. I just name it blue because it's blue text. Trauma. There we go. Sometimes the auto caption's wrong, so that one's a hefty one. All right, and here's my thoughts on trauma dumping. This is one TikTok video that now I have edited for TikTok, so I am Gucci good to go. Okay, but to wrap up the video that I was making for YouTube though, that's basically like my editing process, how I take a VOD and then turn it into a YouTube video, and then also turn that same segment and cut those segments down into TikToks. So that's how we get it.